we're seeing pictures now of you being in the Scotland camp this morning. Even for someone of your standing, that must have been really, really exciting to go down there and meet the boys and get your Scotland kit on.
The nerves were there, that's obvious, right? As soon as they get that first game out of the way, I think they're going to be a lot more settled. But honestly, the atmosphere in that dressing room was electrifying. They are bonded.
You already know what I'm about to say. You've felt it for years, haven't you? That something underneath the surface of these big celebrity personalities just doesn't line up. And look, I need you to stay with me here because what just surfaced from Gordon Ramsay's Scotland dressing room interview isn't what they're playing on the morning shows. Not even close. Here's the thing, though. The news anchors want you to believe this was just a feel-good clip, a famous chef supporting his home team, warm, fuzzy World Cup content. But you and I both know that's never the full story when someone like Ramsay gets that emotional. That nervous energy he couldn't hide. That wasn't just butterflies about a game. Actually, wait, let me back up, because what you didn't hear in the edited versions is what Ramsay said when they asked him about the stolen England equipment. The cameras caught a split-second reaction. His jaw tightened. He glanced away, and then he laughed it off like everyone else. But you know, just like I know, that laugh was covering something. This wasn't just some quirky little theft from a team van. Not an accident at all. 2 arrests were made. Did you catch that? 2 arrests. And the host joked about it being Croatia's coach and their star player. Haha, very funny. But here's where it gets dark. That analytical equipment that went missing. The stuff England's coaches spent months programming with their entire tactical system. Once that data is gone, it's gone. On one laptop. One. And they just happened to be traveling from Florida to Kansas through a city where a certain celebrity chef with very deep connections to Scottish football was conveniently filming content the same week. I'm not saying what you think I'm saying, but I'm also not saying it. You've watched Gordon Ramsay for years. The screaming, the perfectionism, the way he can smell a lie in a kitchen from 50 feet. That man doesn't do accidents. So when he sat in that Scotland dressing room and talked about heart rate monitors, fitness spikes, and exactly how fit every single player was, he wasn't just being a fan. He was speaking the language of someone who's seen the other team's homework. And the reason for that, well, you'll see this is the part nobody talks about. Ramsay's own football career ended because of a catastrophic knee injury. He said before that if his leg hadn't broken the way it did, he would have played for Scotland. That dream never died. It just found a new kitchen. And now he's standing inside the Scotland camp, 24 hours before their biggest match in nearly 30 years, talking about tactical formations. 4 at the back versus 3, and mentioning specific players by name. Billy Gilmore. Scott McTominay. He knew their injuries. He knew their recovery timelines. He knew things the press wasn't even asking about. And look, I need you to hear me on this next part. Really hear me. Pause. Slow down. Quiet voice, because this is where it gets personal for me. We've watched these institutions, the FA, the global football federations, the celebrity PR machines, protect each other for decades. When something smells wrong, they laugh it off. Quirky little story. Good fun. But when a working-class kid from Scotland who screamed his way to the top of the world watches his nation finally get a shot, and he shows up to that locker room like a kid on Christmas morning, that's not fake. That's a man who knows something we don't. And he almost let it slip. Back to normal pace. So let me ask you something. Why was England's entire analytical database on one laptop in a van that got robbed in the exact window before they faced Scotland? Why did 2 people get arrested, and then the story just disappeared? Why did the hosts on that show spend 3 minutes downplaying it while Ramsay sat there in his chef whites, not his Scotland kit, suddenly very quiet? They don't want you connecting these dots. They want you to believe this was a random crime, a funny headline for the morning papers. But you're smarter than that. You already knew something was off the second they started laughing, instead of investigating. And here's the truth they're hiding. Gordon Ramsay didn't break silence by accident. He broke silence because he couldn't hold it anymore. That man has spent 20 years building an empire on standards, on accountability, on refusing to serve garbage and calling it gourmet. And when he looked at that Scotland team and said, "Goes are in check," he wasn't just complimenting them. He was telling you what England's locker room doesn't have. What the stolen data was supposed to fix. They covered it up, called it a robbery, made a few jokes, made 2 arrests that went nowhere, and the World Cup kicked off anyway. But you noticed, didn't you? You felt that itch in the back of your brain when you watched the clip. Something about the way he said, "The tactical nerds are taking it too seriously," with that little laugh that didn't reach his eyes. So here's my question for you, and I want you to really think about this before you hit the comments. If Gordon Ramsay knows what really happened to that equipment, and I believe he does, why hasn't he said a single word about it since that interview? What are they holding over him? And more importantly, what are they so afraid we'll find out if he ever does? You tell me. I'll be waiting in the comments.